Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Rohit. Today we'll talk about the policy in the GRC module. So this is the fourth day we are talking about the GRC sessions. And this fourth day we'll talk about the policy and we'll do a little diagramming and then we'll show you that where the policy can be placed and we'll discuss further on that policy. Okay. If you want this document, that PPT, you can visit my website called snowexpert.rohit.com, and then here you can see the services. Under the services, you have a documentation. Under the documentation, you have a governance, risk, and compliance tab where you can get the complete PPT from there also. So today we'll mostly focus on the GRC policy, GRC policy in this through this diagram also, and we'll create our own policy and understand one by one. So without wasting time, let's get started. So very first thing is the what is the policy. If you see the documentation here, what it is saying that the policy defines the internal practices that process must be followed. So as I mentioned that there could be thousand of compliance, and in this thousand of compliance, you might be following the five compliance, right? That five compliance is a policy for you. Okay, there could be hundred of citation in these citations or hundred of control objective. Okay, but in between that you have a particular rules and regulation that follow in your company that we call the policy. If you see here what else we are talking about, that policy are defined as a policy, procedure, standard, plan, checklist, framework, and templates. So policy is something that has to be followed by that organization member. But citation is something that is in a high level, but all within the citation, thousand citation, 5 or 10 policy we are going to apply in our system. That is we call the policy. Okay. Creating the policy is required the SN compliance admin or SN compliance manager role. Policy have a different kind of state and each state have a different process. So we have a draft state, review state, awaiting approval, publish, and retire. So these are the state we have the in a policy. Reviewer is most important factor who needs to be review the policy and control objects. Before move to the review in the policy, control object needs to be attached. So we'll break down one by one. So what it is saying that reviewer is a most important part in the policy and control objective, because who is going to be review, somebody have to be approved that reviewer, and that is very important. Where before you are moving that review state from draft state to the review state, whenever you are moving in this time, you need to be attached the control objectives to the policy. So let's understand here in the diagram. So till the point the authority document was created, citation was created from the UCF, and this control objective either can be created manually or it can be created from the UCF document. Now the policy will be created manually. So let me add that. So last day we designed this diagram, and I hope you guys pretty much aware of this one. If you don't know, please watch my previous video. Now if you see our documentation, what it is saying that before moving to the review in policy, control objective needs to be attached. So this is our control objective, and this control objective will be attached with the policy, and that will be in our actually the before it is moved to the review state. Okay, so let's first see what is the policy. So if you type the policy here, as you know that we are actually running on the policy and compliance, so mostly all of the module will be visible. Under this policy and procedure, you can see the policies, and these policy are the existing policy. We are going to create a new policy for today, but for the demonstration purpose, I am going to show you that how the policy will be looks like that. So this is the policy you can see, and if I open the policy, as I mentioned in the document here, the policy can be procedure, policy, standard, plan, checklist, framework, and the template. So we have a type, and this each type it define that which type of policy it is. Okay, so let's say I'll talk about that. I'll create a sample one, but we'll mostly work on the change management policy, out of box policy. But if you see here in this change management policy, what it is saying that this policy have a different kind of state, The draft state, review state, awaiting for approval, publisher, and retired. This state we discuss about this document also. So in this draft state, you can create and still modifying that. You can keep modifying that. But in the reviewer state, the policy should be attached to you, one of the control objective. Okay. So whenever you are moving to the reviewer state, reviewer will review or maybe approves based on your control objective that you have attached. So control objective will be imported from the UCF, or you can create manually, but the policy will be the policy will have the multiple control objective, and then based on the control objective, the reviewer will approve or the approver will approve. Okay. So let's create one policy. Our case, we are going to create a new policy here. So I'll click here and create a new policy here. So in this policy, you can see we are in the draft state, and as per our documentation, you can see that if you see here, in this before I move to the reviewer state, I should attach to a I should attach to a control objective. Okay, so we'll discuss in the further. So very first thing, I'm going to create a policy. So let's say change management GRC demo. So this is my policy. Here the type, so we have to be select that any of this type. As per the documentation, we are saying that type can be policies, procedure, standard, plan, checklist, framework, or the template. Anything can be happen. So we'll say that this is the type is the policy. So differentiate between policy, the type is for that more reporting purpose. Based on the owning group, owner, approver, reviewer, contributor, everything will become. So we are going to select the owning groups, let's say CAB approvals here. So once I select that owning groups, and then let's say I will select that MacMe is the owner, and then I'll select the valid from. So let's say valid, it will be valid from that upcoming date here, and then valid to will be applicable for a couple of months. So I will select this one. Okay. Approver, I will select the approver equal to this user, that Mac jurisdiction, and then the reviewer, I will select that the same user, for because I don't have much user at that moment. Okay, these are the things I have selected here. The descriptions, we'll select, copy these descriptions and paste here, called description, and I will put that details here. So this text, this plain text will be create based on this. It will create a knowledge article. So if you see here, in our case, we have a one tab called knowledge base. Knowledge base is nothing but whenever this policy will be in move to the published state, it will create a knowledge article based on this knowledge template, and then it will create a knowledge article with this policy text. Okay. Parent is nothing but if your policy is have more policy, parent policy, you can attach that. So at that moment, I'll just save that policy, and it is in draft state, very first stage. Before once I select the draft, once I click that and created a draft policy, I am able to see that request reviewer state. In this state, if I click that, the state will be changed to the review. But as per our document, what it is saying that before moving to the review in policy, we need to attach a control objective under this policy. So I'll go here, and then I can add any existing one, but for the demo purpose, I'll create a new one. Also, you can see we have a policy history. In this policy history, whenever you make changes or big changes happen, it added here, like the version to the diagramming part. So very first thing is that we'll put this one, and in this case, we will say that this is our policy, and this policy will be in the yellow mark. It means that it will be created manually there, so there is no chance to do anything else. So I'll reduce this size here and connect with here, and then attach here. I'll create one control objective here. So I'll click here in a new button. As per our demo, this is in yellow mark. It can be manually created. So it can be created manually, or it can become from the UCF document. Okay. So I'll create one control objective called change, request cannot be new state more than 30 days. So this is might be my policy. I'll click the active, and you have options called create controls automatically. We'll understand this later. And then here I'll put more descriptions, like more details in the description. I'll save that. Okay. So now our control objective is created. So this part we have covered in last day. What is the control objective? And the control objective I have created in a new state. Control objective doesn't have any state, but here is the one important factor we have a attestation. We have to be create, or we have to attach the attestation. So this is very important. So if I go to that policy right now, the policy is in my draft state, and whatever in the policy, whatever a control objective is attached to that policy, I can still edit until unless in draft state. Once it will move to the reviewer state, I cannot change the control objective. Okay. So in this attestation, I can create a new attestation, or else I can select the existing attestation. In our next sessions, I'll talk about that how we can create the attestation, and for the time being, I'll select the GRC attestation. And this is very important because based on the attestation, it will generate further. So I'll just save that. Okay. And then in this document, I will add one more point. So let's add one more point here. So let's add this point. So it will be generated attestation, and this will be add in whenever you created, you can attach to attestation. I'll add one arrow here. So this will generate a attestation, and then control objective is attached to the policy. Now what we'll do, I'll go back to that policy right now, and in this policy what I'll do, I'll move that to that reviewer state. So I'll simply click that request for reviewer. Apart from that, we have a couple of things. One is the acknowledgement steps. So in this acknowledgement steps, the person has to be acknowledged. So monthly maybe I can select, and then first acknowledgement maybe from the day of valid from. So we'll select that valid from is the 610. So I'll select from there. So let's select that 610 here. And number of days, I'll select the 3, and within 3 days they have to be acknowledged. And then audience, I'll select the change management. We can create our own audience. And then exceptions, I have to be select the exception. So let's say the exception is 2. So in 2 days I'm giving the exception. Let's say that, what is the exception? Let's say that new joiners are coming, and then your policy is that they have to be wear the formal dress, but for 2 days you can give them exceptions. So that is the exception day. I'll save these details and move to the reviewer state. So I'll simply move that reviewer state here. Clicking the review request reviewer, it will move to that reviewer state. Once you click the request for review, there will be a message pop up where you have to be put some notes. So I'll say that please review and request. Once I click that, the state will be changed from draft to review. As I am the admin, I can still modify, but as a normal user, if they created, they should not have any access here. Now, whatever message I am putting, this will become to the activity sections. You can see that it is on draft state and right now in the review state. So let's first, impersonate the approver and see how they are seeing in this case. For this approver, everything is the blank, and then somehow they are seeing that one bug is there in service now, that they are seeing the request for approval button. But apart from that, everything is right now in read only. So for the user who created normally, if they don't have any access, they should not also have the same issues. They should not have also access. Let's impersonate the reviewer for the timing and see how the reviewer looks like that, the policy. Once I impersonate that and see that I have a options called back to draft. But if you remember, if I am the user, normal, even the admin cannot see this button called back to draft. It means that you move to the reviewer, means that it is in reviewer state. You cannot move to the draft state. And in the reviewer state, one thing just noted that if you open this control objective is right now in read only, because it is in reviewer state and you cannot modify in the reviewer state. In draft state only you can modify that. Okay. So once you move to the reviewer state, you cannot make any changes at that moment. Even control objective and the control both are will be read only. I will impersonate the reviewer. This is the reviewer. So I will impersonate that user here and refresh this this policy. And now as a reviewer, I have a options called back to draft. I can send back to the draft state, or else I can move to the request for approval. So what I'll do, I'll review this control objective. So let's review this control objective, whatever they have provided is correct or not, whatever control objective is attached. And you can see in the control objective is right now is editable for me because I am the reviewer. I can make certain changes. So let's say I'll put the classification and then categories and type. These are the things I was missing. I'll put these details and simply move to the request for approvals. So I'll say that please approve here. And so once I move to that approval state, for me as a reviewer, everything is read only. You can see the policy is read only right now, and it will be generate one approval. So let's see. So policy is read only, approval will be generated that MAC jurisdiction, and this is the during that during the moving to the approvals, I can also verify that approval. Now I'll refresh that control objective, and you can see control objective also read only for me. I'll impersonate that MAC jurisdiction right now and try to approve that. So I'll impersonate that user and refresh this policy. So you can see that for Mark jurisdiction, everything is read only. He can only reject or approve. And once it will be, and if I go back to the control objective also, this is also read only right now. So as a approver, they can only approve, everything is read only. So I'll simply approve that, and once I approve, it will be moved to the published state and one KB article will be created. So I'll just simply approve. Once the approve, the one KB article is created, and then we can see that it is mentioning that this policy is approved. You can see this is the KB article is created, and let's see how the KB article looks like that. So I'll open this KB article and click the view article. Once I click the view article, and you can see this KB article is nicely articulated here, that whatever in the requirement, whatever is control objective we have added, all this control objective is attached to this KB article as a requirements. And this is the detailed description that we have put it on that our change management control. Okay, so this is our if I go back to this policy here, in this policy, these are the this is the policy text we have put it, that is incoming, and then the control objective also coming in our knowledge article. Okay, in our right now the policy is in published state. You can move back to the draft state, but at that moment everything is read only. You can see this control objective also read only. Even if I impersonate as an admin, I'll end the impersonation and refresh that control objective. Even I am the admin, I cannot make any changes on the control objective. Okay, and if I open the policy also, normally if the end user open, they cannot make any modification during the published state. So that's it all about that control and then control objective and attestation. So the control objective will become from that UCF, or you can create manually. The policy will be created manually here, and then control objective will be attached through a attestation that will be required in next level. And also remember one thing, that create controls automatically will be checked by default. Based on that, it will be create some control from the control object. Okay, we'll discuss in this further. That's it for today for the timing. We'll discuss and design more. Thank you very much. Have a great day.